everything that goes on in your life and your business is just this really big mirror about how good are you willing to let life get and how good are you going to get at receiving. You've gotten great at divine working, but what about divine living? Welcome to the Divine Living Podcast. I'm your host, Gina DeVee. You're not alone in wanting more, and here at the Divine Living Podcast, you can expect to be part of conversations from women like us who unapologetically dream big and are obsessed with manifesting our most fabulous lives. The conversation starts now. Hey, gorgeous queen. I hope that you are having a spectacular day. And if you need a boost, you are definitely going to get a boost in the Divine Living Podcast today. This week, I have gifted myself the treat, the luxury of being offline and in a Joe Dispenza immersion. Glenn and I are just taking our consciousness, our manifesting, our love, our all of it to the next level. And so I wanted to gift you with some high vibe content from live events that I've done. So I continue to learn and invest in myself and grow myself. So that's what I'm doing this week. And I thought that this week would also be a great opportunity for you to get access to something that formerly you had to be in the room for. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a clip from a live event that I hosted previously. Lots of love. So there's an overarching and overriding theme of what everyone needs to manifest their specific intentions, AKA go to the next level. And it is about getting really great at being feminine. So you're going to need to understand what that actually is for you. Because just like anything in life, there's not a certain way. There's a certain sort of lane that femininity is in, but for you to use it in a way that's going to be most meaningful to you and most inspiring and most powerful is going to be your own unique relationship with femininity. And you're going to create your own non-negotiables around it as well. So the first thing that the feminine gives me is access to the epic life, meaning anything is possible in the realm of the feminine, which is the realm of the spiritual. So anytime we get stuck in that kind of mediocre, mundane, this is boring, I don't want to do it, that's the level and the thinking of the world. That is not the realm of the miraculous, the unlimited, anything is possible. It's an enormous universe out there. There's 7.8 billion people on the planet. So whenever I go into getting clear on what my intention is, no matter how sort of much my neurological pathways want to have me say like, ugh, that's never going to happen, or it's going to be so hard, or it'll take forever, or that's never going to happen, then I go and I tap into the realm of the miraculous. And I really force myself to get into this place of visualizing the whatever it is. So being super clear on that. So whether your form of visualization looks more like just there's more femininity in my business, or I'm more in charge of my life. It can be these sort of broad brush, even intangible elements at the beginning, because as long as there's a feeling associated with it, it will guide you to the direction that you need to be in. It will guide you to the more specific forms, very oftentimes forms that you didn't even know existed. They weren't even in your consciousness in the first place. So step one, if you need a step one, it's really connecting with that epic life, connecting with the realm of the unlimited, connecting with the realm of the miraculous, connecting with the realm of the spiritual. Step two is what I would call bringing your request before God. However you want to define that. So it's like, okay, I want to be more in charge of my life. I want to make a certain amount of money by a certain time. I want a certain team member to show up. And it's bringing that, you can either feel excited about it or you can feel like it's impossible. It doesn't actually matter because God knows what is possible. And you bring that very specific request to the universe. And you're handing it over in the universe's care. While you are the mother of it, you are tending to it, you have claimed this as your own, you are co-creating in this moment with the universe. I'm asking you to show me. I'm asking you to guide me. I'm asking that this request be made a reality. I'm asking that you create and clear the way. And so there's this realm of not feeling alone in that moment. So in this moment, you are no longer alone. In this moment, you can't even play your game because you're talking to God. And you can't be like, well, I don't think that this is possible, God, because if you're actually connecting with God, God's like, God. So in this realm of doing this practice, in this realm of whatever you're bringing to the universe, you're opening up to infinite potential, and you can't play your own game there. You can't even go into fear and lack and constriction. You get to say, I have no idea how this could possibly happen, or how this would humanly happen, or how this could happen for me, but you cannot deny that the fact that what you're desiring, since it is humanly possible, you can't deny that that can happen when you're talking to the creator of the universe. You get me? So it's like, it becomes a negated conversation because you're like, now you're literally standing in possibility. So you've just opened yourself up to that receiving just by having your spiritual connection. So the interesting thing about this process is it's actually quite simple. You know, we're making life so difficult and so hard because we've created belief systems that say that life should be so difficult and so hard. But when you are connected with truth, you really get the level of simplicity. It's not always easy, and we know that part, but you get the level of simplicity that happens when you're connected with the unlimited forces of the universe. So then it's about really receiving from this place of feminine. Really getting that, okay, this is possible, this can happen, and now it's about personalizing. But can it happen for me? But can it happen for me? And everything that goes on in your life and your business is just this really big mirror about how good are you willing to let life get, and how good are you going to get at receiving. Because every woman in this room has done enough of her own work to know what your own patterns are. And everything is transformable. You've already seen it in your life to the degree that you have, right? Of all of the patterns, beliefs, actions, manifestations that you have already transformed in your own life, and yet isn't it astonishing? We have all this data, all this personal life experience of everything that is possible that wasn't at a time possible. For most of you, being in this room would be one indicator of that. Being in a community like this would be another indicator of that. And you have so many thousands more throughout your life journey. And yet then we just reach the next bottom of the next mountain that we're climbing. And until we've created the neurological pathways that we just get, it's all happening for us, not to us. The team member that takes off with the passwords and doesn't call back, the client who was first giving you testimonials and now is asking for the chargeback and saying they're going to slander you online, the work that you went and put into a particular form of a funnel or getting those first clients and then hearing crickets, like all of it is happening for you, not to you. And then your only job is to, from a feminine place, is to discover what is the guidance. The guidance is never punishing. The guidance is never bad. The guidance never leads to a bad direction. We as human beings have been taught that that's what's happening, that we're not good enough. Our life will never be great. So-and-so is meant for something better than us. This is as good as it's going to get, or I'm never going to really reach what I desire. I should be happy with what I have. All of that is the thinking of the world that we have programmed into our minds, and that is what needs released. From the place of the feminine, you now have the opportunity to open up to, this is awesome. I'm thrilled this is happening. Is what is the guidance? Because the quicker that you get into that vortex, you're like, awesome. I am really clear that the guidance just means that I'm not meant to go in this particular direction. So dear God, what is the direction I'm meant to go in? I'm really clear that this is not how I'm meant to conduct my business any further. Dear God, how am I meant to conduct my business? I'm really clear that I'm super bored with this type of marketing or program or whatever it is you've been doing. Dear God, what is it that I'm supposed to be bringing forth into the world? Because only greatness is meant to come forth through you. To the degree that you are available to settle for the boring, for the lack, for the pattern, for the distraction, for the destruction, then you will get that, because we are creators and most of us have been programmed for some form of that. You get it? Yeah. So when you get that the only reason why whatever's going on in your life is happening because of your level of availability for it, it's true. Unconscious programming, yes. Be compassionate and tender with yourself, yes. Nobody's consciously saying, I'm going to create X, Y, and Z in my life that's currently, relatively speaking, ruining your life. None of us are saying that. This is why we do this work, to bring consciousness to the unconscious, because once you become conscious of it, you can't not know this stuff. It's like once you become conscious from how to get to here, to St. Mark's Square, you can't not get there if you just take the action. But yet we're all like, I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get there. Well, when you ask for directions and you get the directions, then you take the direction, then you're there. It's like that in every single thing in life. And when you get, the universe is just lovingly guiding you into your greatness. And it's just a tweak and a tweak and a tweak. And it's like, we think that we're supposed to go and lift these heavy buildings to get to our success and clear these terrains. Or I remember it doesn't happen this often, but it was like once every 5 years. Sunday night, I would start to get that pit in my stomach. And it's like, oh yeah, I go to war again tomorrow. Because it just felt like every day was just like Ramboing it through my business when things had just crumbled to such a degree. And you're like, I'm going to take it on. Like, I am not going to die on this hill. And you're just like plowing to get that next opt-in, that next client, get over whatever mess that team member just left you in. And it was just like being at war. And, when we're in survive mode, that's what happens. Like Maslow's hierarchy of needs is there for a reason. When you're in survive mode, all you can do is survive because you're looking to just have food and shelter. But from the feminine perspective, you can lift yourself up much more quickly. From the feminine perspective, you can pray and you can have a miracle. And the miracle often is the miracle of insight. I'm not always talking about, Publishers Clearinghouse showing up with the check when you need money, but we all know that all it takes is that one guided thought of inspiration. And yes, sometimes because of the seeds that you planted or the energetic that you're in, the vortex that you're being in, you will get that client that just like all of a sudden applies for your highest end program out of, I've sat there when like nothing was working and like someone you've never even heard of just applied for your whatever, and you're like on the phone, and then bam, they're just like, yes, where do I put the Amex? Like you can law of attract that in. Things can come in the form of that, or they can come from the inspired action. It's like, okay, the times when I've told you, like I just couldn't do internet marketing anymore. And then we stopped doing that. And like, everybody's excited because like the whatever I've gone into is the burst of energy. And then what happens? Like, oh, we got to sell tickets to the event. So what do we go and start doing internet marketing more. And then we're like wondering why we're doing all this work for like this much result. Because we didn't go into the inspired thought. We went back to what we knew. And oftentimes the thing that we even stopped because it was born the hell out of us in the first place. So getting great at being feminine is continuing to go into the creative, continuing to go into the unknown, and creating your own version of wow factor and not settling for anything less. Aren't live events just the best? I mean, it is just so beautiful to have the experience of real relationships and being in actual connection with other amazing, incredible women. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And if you are craving more of this, more connection, more live elements, come join us in the Q Club. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to divineliving.com/app. It is such in a live vortex of super cool, spiritual, smart, driven, successful women from around the world. And I do so much live interaction in there. We have a live experience every month. There's live coaching calls. There's other really cool things coming up too that it's going to really just be taken to the next level. And I want to make sure that I get to know you and see you and interact with you in there. So the link, divineliving.com/app, it'll give you a 2-week free trial. You can come on in, check it out, put your profile up, see who else is in your area, check out all the videos that are there on demand. There's cooking segments, there's motivation, prayers, meditations, like so many cool guest experts in there. You also get a chance to be featured as a guest expert yourself. You'll see there's so much goodness in there. But come on in so that you're definitely there for the live connection as well. Lots of love.